know where the rice is grown, and we have the tools to do this. And in fact, when we focus on the Mekong, we know where the rice growing areas are, we know where the drought areas are and the flooded areas, and we also know where the drought-prone inland areas are. How do we use all of this information for the purposes that the papers talked about today? Here's the Philippines. You can see that our rice is still in Central Luzon and Cagayan Valley. The country is 30% rice, 30% corn, 30% coconut. Contrast that with Thailand, which is about 65% to 70% rice, and Vietnam, which is about 65% rice. This is one of the key reasons why we import rice. Our lands are less suitable to rice than either Thailand or Vietnam. Keep that in mind. We do monitor rice from space, and these tools are now available to all of us. And in the Philippines, it's funded by the Department of Agriculture. And that information, by its nature, is a public good. We have images every 9 days. And by the end of this year, we will have images every 3 days. Which then means that we know where the crop is grown, when the crop is started, and what are our forecasts for total production, and we can also identify the state of the health of the crop. Well, this is basically a shift from optical satellites to radar satellites. And the radar satellites are, of course, cloud penetrating. We don't have to worry about cloud cover. For example, here was Typhoon Koku last year. We know it came from the east, went across central Luzon, and turned north. We also know where it struck. So we immediately had an estimate of total damage lost to flood. The typhoon struck on a Sunday. By the next Friday, we had the estimates and handed it over to Secretary Alcalá. Standing crop completely lost, 14,000 hectares. Average yield for that area is 5 tons per hectare. So we know we lost about 70,000 metric tons of palay in that calamity. Also, there was damage due to flooding, due to wind. And this is partially recoverable. So if we recovered half, that's 114,000 hectares, times again 5 tons per hectare. We know that we lost that plus the flooded area. And so we have an estimate of roughly 400,000 tons of palay lost. Translate that to rice, and you know exactly how much the NFA needs to import in addition. This is Mindanao. There's some rice growing areas there, but the more important item is drought. This information was available as early as January 2016, months before the election, months before Kidapawan. And if you look at the central area of the drought, which the satellite images also show, this is Kidapawan, and the center of the drought area, which is this. And that's where the incident happened, where farmers died. This information was already available as early as January. Because Erie and the Department of Agriculture and PhilRice have been working in the Philippines for so long, there's a very extensive database of what is happening in particular areas of the country. So it is possible to have site-specific assessments of what's going on in all of the regions of the country by farm lot. And all of this information is combined with the satellite imagery to enable the operation of the rice crop management. And this is already in operation. farmer can sit with an extension worker on a laptop and discuss the condition of the farm itself. Technical information and advice can be downloaded from the cloud, printed out, gives you planting dates, gives you fertilization, and there's also the possibility of giving you information on how to treat the disease, if there's a disease. Or if you don't have a notebook, it can be by text message. This is already operational in the Philippines in particular. We're also rolling it out now in Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand. Let's not let those other countries use it before we do. So that long-term research is what makes it possible. And there are simple, practical tools that farmers can use to mitigate the risks that they do face. And all that, of course, is based on what's going on in the gene bank. 127,000 varieties now available. And we're working with new varieties, new traits from wild rices that can strengthen the rice crop against the vagaries of climate change. We're working on drought, salinity, submergence, and heat. And of particular interest, it is what is now available on submergence-tolerant varieties all across Asia, and also, of course, the Philippines. This is a popular picture that you may have seen in other times, but it's very clear where those varieties that have the sub-1 gene that have been inserted into them, how they can survive the floods. And this is rolled out as early as 2008 in India. It's now available to a lot more farmers all across Asia. There's also drought. And there are drought-tolerant varieties already available. And why not combine it? Drought tolerance and flood tolerance. This beats crop insurance any day. So the key policy question, at least for crop insurance, is why don't we spend for research a one-time investment that provides you with permanent protection rather than worrying about premiums every year? The key problem is that, and in relation to irrigation, the key problem is that the total agricultural budget of the country has multiplied over the years, and NIA continues to hold the bulk of the budget, roughly 40% of the total budget. 40%. But the cropping intensity, as Agnes has pointed out, has grown only by a few percentage points. The budget has gone up to about 300%, by about 300% at least. The cropping intensity by only a few percentage points. So indeed, it is a good idea to focus on governance of NIA in particular. Crop insurance is the key question. Climate change, yes, it's happening, and there are ways to again focus on research to enable our farming sector to be much more capable of withstanding the challenges that are before us. At the end of the day, we look at the total budget and we find out that our total R&D budget for agriculture is 1/10 of 1% of total agricultural GVA. Compare that to Vietnam, 2%. Compare that to Korea, 3%. Compare that to OECD countries, 9%. We have a long way to go.